Good evening and welcome to yet another awesome session of Mindful Living. We truly appreciate your taking out the time and joining the session today. I would like to start by wishing you all a very happy Dashera and promise you that this investment of time that you have made on this auspicious day will definitely be worth your while. All sessions of Mindful Living are guaranteed to improve your quality of life, and this session today is no different. Couple of weeks back, Amarjeet and I were having a conversation, and I complimented Amarjeet on how he was looking like a Babbar Sher, how he was looking like a lion. And though I meant it in a good way, he didn't really appreciate the comment. And our conversation went into a completely different direction where he started. We started discussing about the animal instincts and human instincts and how we should not really compare human beings to animals because we have evolved in our journey. And the discussion further led to evolution of the consciousness. And it was a very fascinating discussion, and it went on to talk about evolution of soul, human beings, and leading to Ramayana and Maryada Purushottam Ram, and so on. And then thought to myself that this is a perfect session to host for our community on Dashera Day because he spoke beautifully about how we have evolved over a period of time, how societies have evolved. So that's the backdrop of the discussion today. Amarjeet is the founder of Human Assets Development Center and co-founder of iGyan Kosh, a unique digital library of micro-learning video-based trainings. He has a career spanning over 31 years in sales, operations, training, coaching, and career and skill development, in which he has trained more than 50,000 people. He has worked with leading companies like Eureka Forbes, Bajaj Allianz, Future Generali, and IFCO Tokyo General Insurance, where he was the head of sales training. I had the privilege of knowing Amarjeet when we were working together in Future Rally. So I've known him for nearly 15 plus years now. He is an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad and an associate of Insurance Institute of India. He is highly regarded for his expertise in skill enhancement, self-management, and productivity planning. Amarjeet, we are very happy to have you with us talk on this very interesting topic, which we have never touched in all our sessions, 200 plus sessions in mindful living.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Amarjeet. And is there someone who is joining a mindful living session for the first time? Please type FT in the chat box if you're joining our session for the first time. Please type FT in the chat if you're joining a mindful living session for the first time. So, all right, Christina, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So for the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time and for those who may be watching this video later, I would like to take a minute to introduce myself. I am the founder of Mindful Living. We started Mindful Living community in April 2020 when the first lockdown happened. And few of my friends reached out to me uh, to conduct sessions on mindfulness to help them deal with the stress and anxiety that the lockdown was causing. So over a weekend, I conducted a session for them, and one thing led to other. And today we have grown to be a very vibrant community of thousands of people who connect regularly to discuss about matters related to living consciously and supporting each other. We don't advertise about our work. You can only join this community when somebody invites you. And I today invite you to join our community with an open heart and open arms. You can join us by scanning this QR code or clicking on the link that we are going to share in the chat. And this is a no nonsense community where there are no good morning, good night messages, no random forwards, no political or religious posts, only people living consciously, sharing their challenges and supporting each other. So that's Mindful Living community for you. And I invite you to join. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a certified mindfulness meditation teacher, and by education, an MBA, cost accountant, and fellow of Life Management Institute. So that's in brief about me. And now I invite Amarjeet to take the session forward. Thanking you once again for joining us today. Happy Dashera to all, and over to Amarjeet.
Thank you very much. First of all, happy Dashera to all. And what a coincidence that last, say about 10 days back, we were talking and we were talking about something. Actually, we were scheduled to discuss about some other project. And we ended up spending a lot of time in discussing about the journey of soul. And since it is very close to my heart, and I feel that as a human being, I am a privileged being actually. So that's where I feel that we must understand that we are not human beings, we are spiritual beings. And when I say spiritual beings, means we have something more than anything on this earth. And that's where like this sense of privilege and sense of existence comes. And that's where I try to understand the journey of souls. I'm sure. I mean, we will keep it little more interactive, so you can actually stop me in between also and talk. And whenever I ask or I request for your input, please contribute. So, if I ask you, how many times have you heard that 84 lakh योनिस, 84 लाख योनियों के बाद में हमें इंसान का रूप मिलता है. We as a soul evolve and travel through 84 lakhs of different species before we take a birth as a human being. So what do you think, like where does it start?
Amarjeet, sorry to interrupt you, but there is the voice is not very clear. Is there
All
something?
right.
Uh,
All right. Is
check.
it clear now?
Uh, Jagdeep, is it better now? Are you able to hear clearly? Anybody else? Can you please type in the chat if you're able to hear clearly? Okay, it's better. It's better.
All right. All right. So, when we talk about 84 योनीज, है ना, 84 लाख योनियों योनीज का हम बात करते हैं, तो where does it start? I'm sure like none of us actually know that what was our previous life and what will be the next life, correct? No? And what do you think? Where it starts? I mean, soul journey of soul. Where does it start? You can type in the comment, or you can unmute and contribute. So what when I was thinking about it a few years back, about I mean about 12, 13 years back, I was just thinking like why people say that I mean, 84 lakh योनियां. So I started thinking about it. I started reading about it. I started asking questions to people who have actually worked on this. So what I understood is that like it starts from minerals. So soul has a journey which starts from minerals. And before that, I never thought that minerals do have life. They also have life, and that's why, like, I mean, if you see that sand evolves to something, and then stone evolves to something, and then carbon evolves to something, and eventually, like, diamond is there. So, and this takes thousands of years. I mean, longest journey of a soul is in minerals. After that, they evolve to a little more beautiful and attractive journey of their life. That is vegetation. So when we talk about vegetation, so it's a basically color soul. It's a basically a group of millions of souls which create a color, which create something which looks good to our eyes. And that's where, like, if you see, If you look at any plant which you keep at your home, or if you look at trees, or if you look at flowers and all, you will find like a beautiful leaf is there, but there is one part which is actually gone. Beautiful leaf with green, dark green color and very eye soothing color, but one spot is there which is yellow. So it is few souls from that part has departed, and that's where this color is lost. And once this evolves from vegetation, it comes to the animals, and that's where the journey becomes really fast. And if you look at the animals, those smallest animal which we know is algae, and this is again a color soul. You see that millions of souls are there, and they form this group, and it creates a color. And from this millions of souls, they move to group souls, right? When we look at ants, they are always in groups, and that is where this evolvement is happening, and things are moving forward. And then it comes to the couple soul, when we look at the cows, and when we look at monkeys and all, they are couple souls. So they generally live in a couple format. And then gradually it moves to the individual soul when we look at pets, when we look at horse, when we look at dog, right? They are more of an individual soul, and that's where this evolvement is happening, from a color soul to the group soul to the couple soul, and then individual soul. Now the story starts here. Uh, this soul is moving forward, and any soul, let's say a dog, when this dog is in jungle, his journey is still long before he becomes a human being. But if he is a street dog, his journey is little closer. Probably he has come closer to the human being, and he has started learning human things before he takes a birth as a human being. And supposing this dog becomes a pet dog, and he starts living with you, he is living with you at your home. So I am sure most of us have experienced that they are somehow or somewhere start expressing emotions, and that's where they are actually connecting to the human being. That's where like their evolvement towards next birth as a human is starting, and that's where they are kind of guaranteed to evolve as a human, soul evolving towards human being. Now, next birth, this animal will be human being. And when I say human being, the journey starts here. So when this dog takes a birth in as a human being, he is a human being. God has given him certain things, certain gifts which only human being have, which I will discuss in detail in my coming slides. But since he has come from a dog this thing family, so he will carry his those animal instincts, those characteristics which a dog has, right? Similarly, if we have a pet, snake, if snake charmer is having a snake who is around the clock with him, so next life, probably he will be human being, but with the characteristic of a snake. Similarly, if you have a horse who is with you 24/7, and when he take a birth as a human being, his animal instinct will be of a horse. Now, what happens is that when we are born as a human being, we are born with two things. One is that we carry forward those animal instinct, and also we have those gifts which God has given to human being, which we call endowment, human endowment. I will discuss about it. Now the journey starts here. And this is the journey where we have to actually evolve ourselves as a soul. As a human, we are evolving. Let's look at how we have evolved as a human being. It is said that about 3 million years back, human stepped on this earth, and that time it was nothing, there was no difference between human beings and the animals. We were living with animals. We were living life like animals, and there was nothing different between animals and us. And over a period of time, through observations, through experiencing inner uh, conversations or inner feelings, etc., human being realize that they are different from animals. And that is where they started evolving, and they started creating things for themselves. And probably most important thing which they discovered was fire. And today also we say that, do you have a fire in your belly? So sorry, physical fire and the fire inside. So it took 2 million years to human being to actually discover and use fire. And it took another 1 million years to human being to understand that they can cultivate what they want, what they want to eat. May it be farming or may it be animal breeding, etc. It took another 1 million years. And that's where they started evolving faster. And within no time, they discovered various things, which includes communicating to each other, which includes creating tools for themselves, which includes living or coexisting with fellow human beings. And that's where they started writing things. That's where they learned to actually record things. And the moment this recording thing happened, it becomes easy for the coming generations. And when coming generation is coming, they are not rediscovering fire. They are not rediscovering farming. They are just reading, learning, and kick start, and things are done. And that's where probably the present human being has, we can give the credit that what we are today, this is because of this, what happened 300 BC, 3000 BC, uh, I mean, uh, back, that we started writing, we started capturing things. However, when we go to Indian mythology, this says like, if this um, Ramayana. So we can take it as a religious book also, or we can take it as a uh, good fiction. But both ways, it has something really beautiful which we can talk about, right? So can I ask anyone who knows Ramayana? So Ramayana is also known by one more name. Can you suggest me what is that name? Can anyone suggest? Just type in the chat box. Ramayana is also known by one more name.
Ramcharitramanas.
All right. So Ram Charitra Manas. So there are two. I actually look at this in three parts: Ram, Charitra, and Manas. Human being who is a Ram is defining the character of a human being, and that's what is a Ramcharitramanas. That's as a Ram. That's where that is Ramayana, right? So as per this carbon age of Ram Setu between India and China, the thing, Sri Lanka, Ramayana happened about seven and a half thousand years back. And when I say Ramcharitramanas, It is talking about a person. It is talking about a avatar, which is called Maryada Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Ramchandra. So, what is Maryada? Why we call Bhagwan Shri Ram as a Maryada Purushottam? I would like to hear your opinion, your perspective. Why he is called Maryada Purushottam?
Because a role model.
Role model. All right, fine. So let me uh, create some story around it. See, when we evolved, we moved from living like an animal to the human being, and then when we evolved, we started living together, and then society came, right? And when society came, it needed something which can define what is the role of an individual as different at different life stages. So Ramayana, I find it very fascinating. It says that as a human being, when you are a child, what is the maryada? What is the rule? What is the best conduct? And how should you conduct yourself? What is your roles and responsibilities? When you evolve from a student, you become a son. As a son, what is your roles, responsibilities, and what should be your ideal conduct, right? When you evolve further, you become a life partner, right? May it be husband or may it be wife. What is your role? What is your responsibility there? And how do you conduct yourself? What is the best way to conduct yourself, right? Then beyond that, you move further and you are in a war field, right? We are in a war field every day, है so we don't fight or we don't go to the war field the way our previous generations used to go, but we are in war field. And then what is the best conduct in war field, right? So I mean Ramayana or Bhagwan Shri Ram even respected the enemy, right? Respected the rules of that war also. So that is how this Ramayana, even if it is a fiction, it is actually giving us a message that how we should evolve as a human being from one role to another role, and what should be our ideal conduct there. Now, what happens? When this happened, most of us, being a human being, we started following these maryadas. When we were following these maryadas, तो दिमाग में तो we always have some thing running, right? Some good or bad ideas are coming in our brain. So good ideas are good, but there were few bad ideas also. And those bad ideas actually created some restlessness in society, because these were the people who started troubling those people who were following Maryada, who were living life in systematic, disciplined manner, following rules and taking responsibility socially, personally, family may, everywhere they were taking responsibility. They started troubling them. And since they were following maryadas and they were not actually able to maintain that rules, maintain that maryada, and they were actually suffering. They started suffering. And that's where around 2000, 2500 years later, something more happened, and that is where Mahabharat came. And then Mahabharat actually is created for a different purpose. And here the purpose was simple. We follow the Maryada, And Maryada is Sarvopari. I mean, everything is about Maryada. And if anyone is compromising on Maryada, or if anyone is actually distracting on that front, stand up and protect the Maryada. And that's the message. That's the message, and that's where Shri Krishna delivered this Gita, and he said that, okay, fine, wherever you are, whatever is the rule, responsibility, and the conduct defined, respect that. And if somebody is actually not uh, letting you follow that, stand up. And even if it is your father, your brother, or your guru, make sure that you are protecting these maryadas. And that's where, when I ask you, Shri Krishna, one word, what comes in your mind? What is the character? What is the personality of Shri Krishna? Similarly about Duryodhan, similarly about Yudhishthir, Arjun, and Shakuni. We will realize that each person has a different personality, different outlook, but at the same time, most of them are fighting to protect this Maryada. And when we talk about Shakuni, we know that he is that guy who is creating trouble. And that is where the requirement of protecting the Maryada is. So this was mythology. Now let's fast forward, come to the present age. And when we look at this, so this is how we evolved. And Stone Age, agricultural, industrial, and then IT. 3000 BC, we started writing. But Ramayana is older than that. है ना? So even if we take that, we started writing, and that writing was actually confined to one group or one area or one demography. But IT came and they actually sent and distributed this knowledge across the world, and on a click of mouse, you have everything today. And that's where I feel I call present age as a wisdom age. You have everything available at your disposal. Google Baba can help you creating atom bomb. Google Baba can help you cook Gujarati dish. Go and learn, watch the video, read the articles, and do it. And that's where human evolution, that's where we as a human are going to play a bigger role. So if you are not using wisdom, then all this information available is actually consuming you rather than you consuming information. So when you are being consumed by information, you are actually creating disaster. And that's where the role of the God gift, which I was talking in the beginning, endowments comes into picture, where where we use wisdom, where we are consuming information, we are consuming various options or various resources available around us, and creating something good. Now, here I put it this way, that we evolved to be happier. We evolved to reach to the moksha, to liberate ourselves, right? And what is liberation? How we actually liberate ourselves. And that's where what is the role of human being. I'm sure all of you believe in Swarg and Nark. And, then, and this Swarg and Nark is nothing. It is here only. And that's where your endowments comes into picture. We evolved as a Homo sapiens, right? And it took 6 generations and thousands of years from ape to human being, and then very little time moving back to ape. moving back to animal life, where things are consuming us. We are not consciously consuming things. Things are consuming us, है ना, स्वर्ग or not, heaven or hell, है ना. And now, how we can actually create a swarg here? And that's where we, all of us want it. And that's where the spiritual life comes into picture. The moment we move from human being to spiritual being, our life becomes good. And on this earth itself, we experience swarg, we experience heaven. And that's the mm, way to create this. These are the four endowments which we are born with. Practically, I have experimented this with hundreds of people. We all have these four endowments, four God gifts, that is self-awareness, conscience, independent will, and imagination. However, we don't use it. I'll give you a small example. Uh, you are on a road and accidentally you jump the red light signal. When you jump the red light signal, what happens? Just there, you find पुलिस वाला ना हिंदुस्तान में I mean, हवलदार या सिपाही who doesn't have a star here, and he is not an officer, he is a सिपाही, right? Or हवलदार. What happens? He says गाड़ी के पेपर निकालो, चालान काटूंगा मैं आपका. What do you do actually? Can anyone unmute? I want a small 2 minutes conversation. Can anyone unmute and uh, get involved into conversation, please? Anyone?
Yes,
Yes, you are Mr. Panjwani.
yes, sir.
So, Mr. Panjwani, assuming you are there in that situation, and you know uh, that the person who is there, so he is a simple sipahi or maybe a home guard, right? And he uses authoritative language with you, and he tells you, "अपना paper निकालो, तुम्हारा चालान करेंगे." What is running inside you in this situation?
How can we bribe him and make
Hmm.
convince him कि भाई ले दे कर खत्म कर.
So that's the solution part. But
Yeah.
internally, what are your feelings at that time?
Okay. Maybe that he's not having that authority
Hmm.
to catch me, and maybe there's not that much
Hmm.
person
Hmm.
the having the stars and
Hmm.
who's trying to hold me and asking me for this that I have
Hmm.
crossed the red signal.
Hmm. Hmm. So
I would,
can I put it this way that you are feeling that साला तेरा औकात तो है नहीं, तुमने मेरे को रोक कैसे लिया,
yeah, some of that
right?
because he's seeing in
तो
different way.
yeah, your ego is also coming into picture inside. You're not doing anything, but inside, I mean, how can you stop me, yeah? Right? Don't you know who am I? Right?
True,
These are the inner feelings, inner conversations you have with yourself,
true.
right? But do you react to these conversations?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't react because there is another conversation going inside your head that he's a authority, yeah, he's a policeman actually, right? Don't take
Respect
panga.
him. Yeah,
Don't
respect
take
him.
panga. है ना? Don't take panga, and then you also know that how, I mean, what is the best thing, or what is the best conversation you should have with him. So your conscious is actually holding you back. Your self-awareness is telling that you are feeling angry, you are feeling throwing your ego, and but your conscious is holding you back. Correct?
True.
Right. Uh, Here, what happens is that there we actually listen to conscious only in two cases. We have this, we don't listen to our conscious. Self-awareness is there, but we don't listen to our conscious. But in two situations, we listen. One, the person who we are talking to can harm us. He has authority, he is physically maybe powerful, or he has authority, or maybe he has a gun in his hand, he has a some something in his hand, and you know that if you react to your inner anger, respond to that, and based on that you react, you will be beaten, you will be paying the cost for this. That is number one. Number two, that you are when you respect this person whom you are talking to, and that is where we are at. In these two situations only we listen to the conscious, right? That inner voice which tells us what is right, what is wrong. Most of the time, if we are not dealing in these two circumstances where the person with whom we are dealing is authority, right? It can be legal authority, it can be power, it can be anything. And two, we respect that person. And anything and any other circumstance, any other person, we react, and we actually put our conscious aside, and the emotions, the feelings, the inner turbulence actually drives our reactions, right? And that is where is these two are the first the thing. What happens, like, I mean, one more example I give you. We would use curse words, right? है ना? Punjabis बहुत use करते हैं. North Indians they use a lot, है ना? MC, BC and all, right? ठीक है ना आशीष सर? उसके बिना तड़का नहीं लगता, है ना? So if you are used to of this language, but when you are in front of your father, your language refines, right? Because your conscious is playing a role there. When you are standing in front of your boss, your language refines. Because knowingly, unknowingly, you are using this God gift, and you are actually listening to this, what is correct, what is not correct, right? And then that is where it comes third thing, what Mr. Panjwani said, कि I will think कि इसको bribe कैसे कर सकते हैं. उससे पहले एक step आ जाता है. That is that the moment I listen to my conscience, I realize that, boss, I have to manage myself. I don't have to lose my temper. I don't have to use wrong words. I don't have to uh, behave bad. I have to behave best. I have to talk best. I have to communicate well. And that is the decision you take, that, okay, in this situation, I will do this. My reaction will be controlled by my independent will. I'm willingly deciding what will be my reaction, right? And then comes the imagination, which Mr. Panjwani, you were saying, ki, like, how can I bribe him, or how can I communicate with him and reason out and convince him to forgive me for once it was an error, it was a mistake, and a lot of imagination, and you are actually thinking about the words which you want to use, how you want to put these words, right? And that is where this whole cycle completes. And this is what we are born with. This is what is the gift which we have. Now, I take it one step forward. Now, we are transacting, right? As a human being, we are transacting. And this transaction can be right or can be wrong. I divide it in two parts. If we are dealing materialistic, we put tag of right and wrong, right? And that is like, if you are listening to me, you are a good person, right? If you are agreeing with me, you are a gentleman, right? We are judging people without using our endowments, without using our four gifts which we have. And we tag people, we tag conversation, we tag transactions with right and wrong. And that's where we fail actually. And we have to use these endowments, and rather than looking at right and wrong, we have to look at good and bad. So the moment we are able to transact with people with good and bad, we are able to differentiate between good and bad transaction, then we are moving towards being a spiritual being. A small example, like recently I experienced this. There is a lady, family friend, and they are Jains, and they don't eat non-veg. And that's where this lady doesn't go to any household. If we invite her for a dinner, she will not come because we eat non-veg, right? Now, this is a transaction happening between them and us. So, if we start talking about this, we will say that non-veg eating is wrong, right? Or I will say that non-veg eating is right because I need protein. My body demands that. My requirement, my nutritional requirement is there. So there is an argument, right and wrong. But if we make it a good or bad transaction, then we actually start thinking beyond what is visible, right? Okay, fine. She can create a transaction which is good experience, which is creating good experience. She can say that, okay, fine, I will come. But I request you, please don't cook or don't serve non-veg to other guests also, because I am not comfortable. Or alternatively, she can say that, okay, I will ignore what others are eating. I'm focused on my food. I'm enjoying that. So these transactions, these good or bad experiences are created, and these are created in such a way where we are using our four endowments. Right? We are not reacting to what I feel. We are not reacting to what you want. We are reacting to what is right and wrong, conscious. We are listening to that, and accordingly we are working. And when we are working, we are not actually taking actions. We are taking action with imagination and creating the best action, will be creating the best option out of it. This is the long subject. We can discuss about this in full detail, and needs a lot of I mean, practice. So just wanted to share this idea with you, and that's where I will finish today's uh, sharing, and we'll see that we in future we go for these individual endowments and explore that how it is built, how we can actually correct those endowments, and how we can actually build and create a right set of endowments so that it comes in our life on a auto mode. The moment it comes on auto mode, we have a better life. As I gave you example that we use cuss words, but in certain situations, certain people we don't use because this endowment is in the auto mode, and we know that we are creating something good. So with that, thank you very much, and Ashish sir, over to you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amarjeet, for sharing these insights. May I request you to stop sharing your screen? Yeah, thank you. And friends, the thoughts which Amarjeet shared are very, very powerful. And I would like to share with you that this is something, which I'm inspired a lot by. When we focus on changing our thoughts by attending sessions like this, our thoughts influence our words. which in turn influence our actions. And our actions over a period of time become our habits, and they influence, make our character, which leads to our destiny. So, by changing our thoughts, we can change our destiny. This is something which I am very inspired about, and I've been working a lot in this area. And the challenge today is that, a lot of thoughts which come to us are negative. Whether you switch on the TV or the newspaper, the thoughts are negative. And here, this is where mindful living plays a role by sharing these thoughts. We are also starting a new service, which is Mindful Living Thought of the Day, where we will share one thought with you every day, not too much, not too less, just one. And like a drop, it will go and it will settle in your mind. And then it will start changing your words you speak and the actions you have, and create a different character and destiny. And this is a service which we are pricing. If it is something is free, we don't value it. So we are introducing this at a nominal price of 369 rupees, and this will be an year-long service. So for normally it will be from January to December, but since we are starting now, it will be for a period of 15 months, October 2024 to December 2025, where you will start getting one thought, very carefully curated thought about different areas of your life like spirituality, relationships, emotional resilience, financial well-being, career, growth, developing a growth mindset, etc. So in case this is something which you would like to work on, you can scan this QR code or GPay on the number that we have mentioned, rupees 369, and we will have you added to the group. We'll be sharing these thoughts. And not only will you get a thought every day, you also will receive the personally signed copy of my book Beyond Limits, which is getting released in the coming month. So please share, once you have remitted the fees, please share the your address with us so that I can sign it and share your personally signed copy with you. And on that note, I'll be happy to open up the session for Q&A with you. So please share any questions that you may have, or any comments or your takeaways for Amarjeet. And we'll be the next 10 minutes we will use to discuss your takeaways. Anything you like? Richard, you want to share something?
Well, no, thank you for the insights.
Okay. Thank you for that, Richard. Thank you, Jagdeep. Thank you, SNLE.
Uh, Alisha, we need more
Yeah.
informations of how Amarjit I was talking about the journey of like 84,000 life. So
Yes.
we have got the human birth in, and then we are evolving to the spiritual journey.
Okay.
So wanted to understand more details. So if you can have it a separate session on that to understand our back journey, how was it is and how it we evolved. But it was a very short session on today, but if we can get more information, that will be more informative.
Okay. Okay. Amarjeet, would you like to respond to that one?
I mean, this is actually a very long subject. You rightly put Mr. Hassan Ali, right?
Yeah.
We can actually invite somebody to actually talk about this. People are trained on this. They actually heal also using regression therapy. So we can actually invite them also. So
Sure.
I have read few books. I mean I consider it, to be honest, like on a different thing. I consider it as a fiction, right? Because nobody can give you the proof that this is the journey, right? However, this is a beautiful fiction, right? If it is true, it is beautiful. Even if it is fiction, it is beautiful because it is helping us. It is helping us, it is driving us towards utilization of our God gifts, right? See, no other animal has ability to know what is happening inside there, right? I put it in two words, that is intelligence and intellect. Every animal has intelligence. They have a knowledge, right? If there is a cow, she is hungry, she knows that. And by eating grass, her hunger will be fulfilled. She knows that, right? And if she is in my field, she is my cow, and she is in the thing Ashi's field. She doesn't know the difference between my field and his field, right? And she will eat grass wherever whatever she finds. And sometimes you will find that there is this walls, etc., which can hurt her. And there is there may be something like we see that sometimes food is there inside the polythene and they eat with polythene. So they have intelligence that food is there. They have that information. But whether to eat it or not, that is with only you and me, right? So if I am hungry and there is a lunch box on the table, and this lunch box belongs to Ashish, right? Now I can take decision whether to eat it or not eat it. And if I decide to eat it, I can eat it. Again, I'm going back to that good and bad. I can create a bad transaction. I eat it and I don't care about Ashish. Alternatively, I create good transaction. I tell Ashish, मेरे को भूख लगी है. Would you share your lunch box? Right? So this intellect or the ability to process information and take decision is with us. So this 84 लाख योनिया या रामायण या महाभारत या गीता, whether it is true or not, doesn't matter. It is a good fiction also, and this actually helps us in evolving and being mindful, I would say, being
Yeah.
conscious, being able to take decision and utilize information, intelligence and intellect.
No, though it was correct, but in our religious practice also,
Hmm.
we say the Ginan. Ginan is the one of the practice of
Hmm.
saying a prayer. In that,
Hmm.
we are saying 84 साल और 84 के बाद
Lakh.
हमारा
Yeah.
लाख 84 लाख के बाद
Hmm.
हमारा जन्म, हमें इतना अच्छा ब्यूटीफुल जन्म मिला है जहाँ पे यू विल बी
Hmm.
you can try to get moksha,
Hmm.
and
Correct.
if you want to have a moksha, this is the right place. So just to wanted to understand कि अगर वो बैक से अगर हम लोग यहाँ तक पहुंचे हैं तो यहाँ से
Hmm.
spiritual journey will become more easy. So this is
See,
just
I put it when I look at this, for me, I define moksha is like spiritually, moksha is free from bad experiences or bad things or struggle or suffering in this life. That is moksha,
true, true.
right? And religion wise, moksha is that you are liberated and now no more rebirth. So either way, it is good actually. So I consider moksha is that as long as I am on this earth and I am able to actually heal myself. I'm able to manage myself in such a way where I'm not suffering, right? It's a moksha. It's a swarg.
For sure, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hassan, for that question. And Richard is asking, is every experience a good experience? And in my view, yes, Richard. And even the clash which you have referred to help us learn something. You know, the way they work for us is if we take our learning from that experience and become better. But if we just be in a victim mode and keep crying, why is this happening to me? Then clash is bad. Then it just keeps you trapped in that low energy state of being. But if we can take the learning from that clash and move on, become better, stronger, is what is good for us, which is what Amarjit also spoke about in the Ramayana story. He goes to the forest and spends 14 years outside his kingdom, but that experience made him stronger and better, and kill the demons. So in that way, it's good. And moksha is a multi-layered concept. It can mean liberation from different things.
Correct.
Amarjit has spoken about it, and it can be liberation from pain. It can be liberation from cravings. It can be liberation from desire. It can be liberation from another birth, and so on and so forth. To my mind, if we are liberated from having any desires, then we'll also be liberated from having rebirths, because then everything finishes.
Hmm.
So that thank you
I
for
think Richard is saying something. You are on mute.
Yeah, I was just expressing gratitude and confirming. So thank you. I think if you're a 9 and you've ended Glacier, then there's no point in another cycle in that sense.
Yeah.
When we sleep, wake up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are almost at the end of the session. If there are no more questions, we'll be happy to draw the session to a close. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Happy Dashera. And thank you so much,
Thank you.
Amarjit, for sharing these beautiful insights. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.